Hello and welcome everyone. I hope this message finds you fit and fine and your preparation is well in line. Today in Lakshmikant series contest, we need to talk about urban local government. Let's start with a question today. Which of the following central government ministry deal with subjects of urban local government? Options are Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Defence, Ministry of Urban Development. Means Home, Defence and Urban Development. And options can be 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, whichever you want, your wish. Can be none of these also. We have not discussed it. Still I'm asking because there's a reason for that. When you make mistake and you're given the answer right away, then there are less chances that you are going to forget it. It's a rule in psychology. Answer is all three ministries are correct. So let's start. So urban local government was given a constitutional status through 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. But it doesn't mean that this idea actually emerged after this Constitution Amendment Act. It was taking shape during the Britishers' time, right? And this can be one question. We have just actually attempted it. And we need to discuss this in detail, means how these three ministries and which area they take care of. We're going to discuss it. Now, historical perspective. First Municipal Corporation was set up in Madras and then later Bombay and Calcutta. Obviously, these were British presidencies and Britishers wanted these urban setups to be developed as role models of development. Later, Lord Mayo's resolution came, which talked about financial decentralization and development of self-government institutions. But later, Lord Ripon, who is regarded as father of local self-governance in India, so he made a resolution and this was more detailed in terms of structure, finances, functions, and that is why Lord Ripon's resolution was considered as Magna Carta of local self-government in India. Okay? Other Royal Commission was also appointed for the same purpose. In 1919 Act, GOI Act, we discussed about diarchy, if you remember. So diarchy, which divided these provincial subjects into two types, right? Reserved subjects and transferred subjects. Transferred were the one on which Indian representatives were having say, right? So after this Government of India Act 1919, this urban local government was shifted to transferred subject and under the charge of responsible Indian minister. Please remember it because there can be a question statement from here, okay? Under the provincial autonomy scheme in this Government of India Act 1935, which we discussed in historical background of Indian Constitution, when these three subjects were divided, right? This will be a union subject and provincial subject. So now this urban local government was shifted to provincial subject, and we have the 7th schedule, right? And in 7th schedule as well, this major say with regard to this urban local government lies with state. Means roots are in Government of India Act 1935, right? Now we have certain committees related to these bodies. There can be a question, which of the following committee is not related to urban local governance, right? So for that, just have a look over the name and the title of these committees. It's not like you have to cram them right away, okay? When you go through them and when you practice some questions on them, then it will be easy for you to answer. P.K. Wattal, John Mathai, Nuruddin Ahmed, A.P. Jain, Rafiq Zakaria, Girjapati Mukherjee, and K.N. Sahay and C.M. Korea. Now, Constitutionalization. So, attempt was made by Mr. Rajiv Gandhi as well as V.P. Singh, but it could not formalized. Later, P.V. Narasimha Rao's government was successful in having the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, right? Now, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act added Part 9A in our Constitution, 243P to 243ZZ. So these are the articles which are dealing with urban local government. From 243 to 243O, we talk about panchayats, right? Added 12th schedule with 18 functions. Can you just tell me which schedule was added through 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act? 11th schedule, right? And how many functional subjects were there? We discussed in previous lecture, right? 29, right? UPSC also plays on some kind of facts in some question. That is why just Remember them. Aim to revitalize and strengthen the urban government. Right? Means urban government is already there. But by giving constitutional status, we are going to strengthen them, revive them. Now, what are the salient features? First of all, remember, there are three major types. I'm not using the word three-tier, which we discussed in panchayats. When I say three-tier, what does it mean? Village panchayats are connected to block panchayat, right? Block panchayat are connected to Jila panchayat, right? Jila parishad. But in case of three type, it simply means what kind of urban development body you are going to have. It depends on certain qualifications which this particular area is having. For example, if some area is actually in transition from rural to urban, then there you are going to have Nagar Panchayat. If there is an urban area which is small, then you are going to have Municipal Council, or we also say this Nagar Palika. Then a large urban area, we have Municipal Corporation. Okay. So it is not like within a large urban area, on top you have Municipal Corporation, then you have Municipal Council. No, this is not the function. The type of municipality you are going to have in a particular urban setup, it depends on kind of urban setup you are having. Transition, Nagar Panchayat, small Municipal Council, big Municipal Corporation. I hope now it is clear. Now, composition. I hope you remember in the Panchayat chapter, I told you some provisions are compulsory, whereas others are voluntary. When I say voluntary, it means state legislature have flexibility how to actually implement it by making law regarding that, right? So members are directly elected. We are talking about composition, each representing ward within the municipal area. A state legislature can provide manner of election of chairperson. Okay, so what you got? When it comes to ward members, means small territories within an urban setup, they are directly elected. Okay, although in this municipal council, we have elected as well as some nominated members about whom we are going to discuss it, right? So state legislature is going to decide about the manner of chairperson election. Okay, means whether it is going to be indirect, means means members of this council from all from different wards, they are going to decide from among them that who is going to be a chairperson of this urban area, or it is going to be indirect or direct. Direct means there can be a separate election for the position of chairperson of this urban local body. People can vote two times. One, for the member of the ward. Two, for the chairperson of this urban body, right? But state legislature has power, please remember it. A state legislature may provide representation of local MLAs, MPs. I hope you remember this is same as we discussed in case of panchayats, right? Now reservation of seats, this is also same. Reservation of seats for SCs, STs according to population, right? 1/3 seat reserved for women. These are compulsory. But when it comes to having power with the legislature is having power related to how many seats you want to reserve for chairman position for all three categories, means SC, ST and women. Along with this, a state legislature has power to decide whether you should give reservation to OBCs in member as well as chairmanship, right? So I think you remember it is same like we discussed in panchayats as well, right? With regard to backward classes, please remember it as a trick. The power lies with state legislature. There should be no confusion in this. Okay. Now, duration. This is 5-year term, same as panchayat, right? In case of dissolution, election must be conducted in 6 months, same, before expiry of the duration of 5 years. Now, I hope you remember, I told you that if out of these 5 years, the panchayat got dissolved in 3 years, okay, 2 years are remaining. Now there are fresh elections. Now the newly constituted panchayat is going to remain there for how much time? 5 years or 2 years? There can be a statement in your exam. Answer is 2 years, because In local government, whether panchayat or municipality, this remainder function work means new municipality after dissolution will only continue for remainder of the 5-year term. Okay? But this remainder term logic is not going to work if the dissolution happened in less than 6 months' time till 5 years. For example, dissolution happened after say 4 years, 8 months. So there were just 4 months remaining to complete the tenure, right? So now when fresh election is going to happen, the newly constituted panchayat is going to continue for 5 years, right? Now, disqualification, same in case of panchayat. For example, law for election to the legislature means MLAs. So if some law is stating that such disqualification is going to work on member of legislature, then such disqualification criteria can also be used towards members of urban local bodies. Along with is any law which is made by state legislature stating no, this disqualification can also happen. Minimum age 21 years, same in case of panchayat. State election commission, same, single body for panchayat as well as municipality election. Okay, state election commission. So state election commission is a constitutional body, right or wrong? Right. 73rd, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act have given State Election Commission a constitutional body status. Okay. Powers and functions. So state legislature may provide additional powers to these municipalities. Main plan is you have to ensure implementation of government schemes in that particular area which are pertaining to your functions. Okay. For example, Union government has started, Urban Development Ministry has started a scheme, and there was a scheme by previous government, JNNURM. Present government changed that scheme to Amrut scheme, AMRUT. So these schemes are related to urban development. So who is going to be the implementing body at urban level? Urban local government body, right? Along with this planning, the economic development and social justice in this area, implementation of matters which are mentioned in 12th schedule. 18 functional items are mentioned there, right? Now finances. So same in case of panchayat. For finances, 1, revenues from the power of collection of taxes, tolls, fees which is given to you. Number 2, grants which you get from central as well as state government, right? Third, loans. Yes, urban local government bodies can also take loans from state government as well as other financial institutions. But when urban local government bodies take loan from other financial institutions, they need permission of state government. Please remember that. Okay. A state legislature may provide municipalities with power to collect taxes, appropriation, same in case of panchayat, right? Constitute a dedicated fund from where funds are going to be transferred to these municipalities. Now, State Finance Commission, I hope you remember, right? State Finance Commission is a constitutional body, right? After the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act. So, State Finance Commission reviews and recommend, right, how much funds should be distributed from state consolidate fund to these urban local government bodies, right? So, distribution to improve how you can improve the finances of these bodies and provide grants to these bodies for a specific purpose, that this much amount we are giving, this should be spent on drinking water only or say schooling only. Okay. Now, audit and account. State legislature is going to recommend how you need to compile your accounts and how they are going to be audited. Okay, maintenance and auditing. Exempted areas. So like in panchayat we discussed, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act does not apply in latent split in scheduled areas and tribal areas. And after that we discussed PESA, panchayat extension in scheduled areas, right? Similarly, urban local government body, after the 74th Amendment Act, so these provisions are not applied in latent split in scheduled areas or tribal areas. Okay, some exceptions are given for ensuring their culture, being sensitive to their customary laws It shall not affect the functions and powers of Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council of the West Bengal, because it's also an autonomous area. Now, District Planning Committee. I expect a question from District Planning Committee. There can be a good one. Okay. So, as the name suggests, Planning Committee for the district. Developmental plans we are talking about. So, who decides the composition? So, state legislature decides the composition. Manner of election of members as well as chairperson. Okay. So, if I ask that who remains on the position of chairperson of District Planning Committee, okay, what Constitution says? So, Constitution doesn't say anything on this. Okay. This power is given to state legislature. They are going to decide how members as well as chairperson of DPC are going to be elected. And that is why when you Google, you will find in some states, minister in charge of that particular district is the DPC chairperson. In some areas, local MLA is DPC chairperson, one of the local MLA. In some areas, chairman of Jila Parishad is the chairman of DPC. So, it varies. Please remember this, UPSC can actually lay a trap for you in this particular statement. Okay. Functions are also going to be decided by state legislature, and this is with respect to members I have already discussed. So, composition, manner of election and function. 3 points you need to remember. The power lies with state legislature. Clear? Now, on this detailed question can be actually asked. 4/5 of the total members of DPC, they must be elected from these local representatives, elected by elected members of district, panchayat and municipalities. Okay, district panchayat, not block panchayat or village panchayat, and municipalities. Okay, in the district, and this out of 4/5, how many are going to be elected by these district panchayat and how many by municipalities? So, what is going to be the ratio? So, representation of these members in the committee should be proportional to the ratio between the rural and urban population. If rural population is more, so out of these 4/5, obviously, the proportion of these district panchayat actually electing people would be more. For example, let me give an example. Consider there are 10 seats, okay, 10 seats reserved, okay. So, now if 10 seats are reserved and we know that around 70% people resides in rural area. So, it means 7 members in this DPC are going to be elected by these this district panchayat, means elected members of district panchayat, right, and 30% are this. So, 3 members are going to be elected by this municipality, right. The chairperson of such committee shall forward the development plan to the state government. Now, there is Metropolitan Planning Committee, and UPSC may try to confuse you between the two, DPC and Metropolitan Planning Committee. What is the difference? When I say metropolitan area, it's a big area. It includes more than one district. Okay. For example, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai. In Delhi, we have 11 districts, right? So, for that, for this metropolitan area, there can be a metropolitan committee, right? Obviously, Delhi is an exception in case of Metropolitan Planning Committee, but you should know what Metropolitan Committee do, right? What's the composition? Although, when it comes to composition, manner of election, representation, function, power lies with state legislature. And I hope now you will recognize why I said Delhi is an exception. Because in Delhi's case, municipality, in case of municipality, MCDs, power lies with central government, right? So, functions, so you need to remember 3 things: composition, manner, right? Composition, manner of election of members and chairperson, functions. All these power lies with state legislature. Now, 2/3 of the members of Metropolitan Planning Committee should be elected by the members of the municipalities and chairperson of the panchayats. So, now recognize the difference. In case of DPC, we said 4/5 of the members elected by whom? Elected members of Jila Panchayat, right? And the members of municipalities, right? But here, 2/3 are actually appointed, elected by these chairpersons of Jila Panchayat. Why we are saying that? Because in DPC, you have only one Jila Panchayat. But in case of metropolitan area, as I told you, there are multiple zillas, multiple districts. So multiple Jilla Panchayat, multiple Jilla Panchayat chairpersons. So that is why chairpersons are going to vote, Jilla Panchayat chairpersons are going to vote only, not members in case of metropolitan area, right? And this is same, means chairperson of Panchayat and this elected members of municipality. But change is just here, okay? This is the change, okay? Representation of these members in the committee should be in proportion to the ratio between population of municipalities and the panchayats, same. Now, 12th schedule. UPSC has asked one question on which of the following is not mentioned in 12th schedule. Which of the one question was which of the following is a subject under 12th schedule. So as I told you that there are these 18 subjects, right? What you need to do? Just go through them one by one and just recognize what can be the offbeat which UPSC will try to confuse you. Urban planning including town planning, regulation of land use means agricultural land or commercial land or residential land. Planning, the socio and economic plans, rail, bridges, water supply, public health, sanitation, solid waste management, fire services, urban forestry, safeguarding interest of weaker sections of society including handicapped people, means differently able people, mentally challenged people, slum improvement and upgradation, urban poverty alleviation, provision of urban amenities like parks, seatings, gardens, promotion of culture and education, aesthetic aspects, burial and burial grounds, cattle ponds, prevention of cruelty to animals. Prevention of cruelty to animals is mentioned in 12th schedule, please remember. Vital statistics including registration of births and death, means when you take birth, so you are issued birth certificate by whom? Urban local body, right? Similarly with death. Public amenities including street lighting, parking, regulation of slaughterhouses and tanneries. So slaughterhouses remain in news, you know that, right? So it is subject in 12th schedule with urban local body, right? I think it is clear to you now. Now, type of urban bodies. So these are the types, okay? Let's talk about them one by one. Municipal Corporation, the biggest body among the municipalities. So some examples like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore and others, established by the acts concerned state legislature. So there can be a question that municipal corporations are established only by acts of parliament. That statement would be wrong, right? But if it is saying that municipal corporations can be set up in India only by act of state legislature, tell me that statement would be true or false. That statement will also be false. You know why? Consider the case of Delhi. In Delhi, recently there was a news that now the MCDs are going to be merged in Delhi, right? So who is going to do that? Central government through an act by parliament, right? Act from parliament. So that is why in all states, a state legislature. In case of UT, if there's this municipal corporation need to be set up, then act of parliament, okay? Now this should be clear. You should not commit mistake now. Municipal corporation has three basically bodies. One is council, then we have some standing committees, then you have municipal commissioner. There are three things, okay? Council. Council means we are talking about members, okay? Council is the deliberative and legislative wing. Discussion is going to happen there, right? Final decisions are going to be taken here. Consists of directly elected as well as nominated members. Please remember it. Composition governed by 74th Amendment Act. Council is headed by mayor, assisted by deputy mayor, 1 year. Standing committee. Out of these members in the council, some are given, charge of specific standing committees. For example, standing committee of health, a standing committee of education, a standing committee of cleanliness, sanitation, right? Now, council has taken some decision that this need to happen. Now, standing committee is responsible to ensure that what is happening, right? A standing committee is also responsible to propose suggestions with respect to their area. Area means subjects. For example, standing committee on health. So standing committee on health is going to present some views before council. Sir, this should happen. Council is going to discuss, deliberate, and final decision is going to be taken, right? Now, who is going to implement this decision? Municipal commissioner, generally a IAS officer, right? or a senior PCS officer. Responsible for implementation of decisions taken by the council and its committees, appointed by the state government, is generally an IS officer. So these are the three: council, standing committee, and municipal commissioner. I hope you will remember that. Now municipality. Established administration town and small cities by state legislature, UTs by parliament, as I told you. Various names like municipal council, municipal committee, municipal board, municipality, city municipality, these are other names of these municipalities. Now three authorities, similarly, first is council, deliberative legislative body, directly elected councillors. In case of this, council is headed by president, chairperson, vice president, deputy chairperson. Also, please remember, there can be a possibility that state legislature has made a law that there can be nominated member in the council as well. Unlike the mayor, the post of president is pivotal, means has more executive power. We have standing committee, same, right? Then we have chief municipal officer. There's another name to that, EO, executive officer as well. Appointed by the state and is in charge of day-to-day general administration of the municipality. Means decisions taken by council need to be implemented by this chief municipal officer. Then you have notified area committee. Now this is totally different from municipal corporation and municipality. So that is why, please remember, created for administration of two type of areas. Number one, a fast developing town due to industrialization, for example, on the outskirts of a district or a city. So state government recognized now we need to develop it as a separate area, right? We need to develop infrastructure there, then actually industries are going to come in. And present municipal corporation or a municipality is not having that kind of dedication, or you can say is not having capability to deliver that in a record time. For that, you are actually having a notified area committee. A town considered to be important by the state government and does not qualify as a municipality. So there can be two cases. So in this case, a notification by the state government is going to released. Then State Municipal Act, as per State Municipal Act, it is going to be notified. Can also have powers under other acts, power almost equivalent to municipalities. Entirely nominated body. This is different. Entirely nominated body, including the chairman by the state government. Okay. So you can remember, notified area committee, notified, and for notified committee is going to have only nominated members. So notified, nominated. I think now you are not going to forget it, right? Thus it is neither elected nor statutory. Now town area committee, this is also different. Set up administration of a small town, municipal authority within limited civic functions, drainage, road, street, lighting, created by a separate act of state legislature, composition, function and other matters are governed by act. It is wholly elected or wholly nominated or partially elected, partially nominated, right? So how you can remember? Town area committee, town, small area, okay, small area, small town, right? So it has not qualified for Nagar Panchayat, right? But it needs civic amenities, right? That is why it is made limited civic amenities. Now Cantonment Board, Kent. Now we are talking about defense, right? You must have visited some Kent areas. You must be impressed by the kind of management and cleanness which we find in Cantonment Board, right? So municipal administration of civil population in cantonment area, that is why Cantonment Board is created. Yes, within Cantonment Board, civilian population also lives, right? If you have not noticed, then you should notice next time, okay? Set up under Cantonment Act 2006 enacted by the Centre, works under administrative control of the Defence Ministry of the Union, Defence Ministry, right? Urban government body, right? IDES, I just told you, Indian Defence Estate Service. It consists of partially elected and partially nominated members, hold office for the time of 5 years. Nominated members actually remain in this position till they are in service in this area. Okay, means we are talking about defence officials. Commanding officer of that area, of that basically cantonment, is recognized as president of this Cantonment Board, right? So it's an ex officio position. Whoever is going to be CEO, right, is going to be considered as president of this Cantonment Board. Similar functions to municipalities, executive officer is appointed by President of India. Means we are talking about CEO, right? Members of Indian Defence Estate Service. Now townships. Have you actually ever recognized, if you pass through some big cities, on the outskirts there are some big plants, right? PSUs, for example, Bhel, NTPC, right? So there are plants like, there are townships like Uchahar. So Uchahar is on the outskirts of Raebareli, UP. So it's a township, which was actually created by NTPC, right? National Thermal Power Corporation. For example, Bhel. So there's a township in Haridwar, on the outskirts of Haridwar, which was actually established by Bhel, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, a central government PSU. So when they found that this is the area, because for establishing a PSU of the scale of NTPC, BHEL, you need a large chunk of land, right? Sometimes this large chunk of land is actually far from urban setups, right? And you need to give some good amenities, then only people are going to come to reside there, right? So that is why these PSUs take responsibility to develop township there, to provide amenities to the families who are going to serve, the people who are going to work there, their families need to live there, schooling, roads, drinking water, playground, street lights, etc. Entire enterprise appoints town administrator who is assisted by engineer and the non-technical staff. Township is not elected, is not having elected members, okay? No elected members. Means it is like extension of bureaucracy of that enterprise to manage this township. Simple as that, okay? Extension of bureaucratic structure of the enterprise. Now we have port trust, okay? First of all, port trust, who is having say there? State government or central government? What's your answer? Port established in port areas like Mumbai, Kolkata, etc. They serve two purposes: protect and manage port, provide civic amenities. Port trust is created by an act of parliament. Please remember it. You cannot say, okay, port is in Maharashtra, now port trust is going to be created by act of state legislature of Maharashtra. No. Okay. Consists of both elected and nominated members. Chairman is government official. Chairman is always government official, generally a senior IAS officer. Civic functions are more or less similar to municipalities. Then you have special purpose agency. So it is different from municipalities, okay. It's special. It means for a specific purpose, a body has been created. For example, Town Improvement Trust, Urban Development Authority, Water Supply, Housing Board, Pollution Control Board, Electricity Supply, City Transport Board. So set up by states as a function-based and not area-based body. So it's function-based body. There can be one statement over this. Okay. Now, you must have, if you come to Delhi sometime, and you will find that to resolve this problem of the slums in Delhi, there's a separate board, a special agency for that. The name is DUSIB, Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board, right? So it is not having area-based approach. Its function is to rehabilitate people from slums, right? To convert these slums into, regularized areas. Now, established by State Legislature Act, functions. Now, this statement you need to remember, function independently from the municipalities and corporation. Okay, it's not like municipal corporation is going to consider you have to report us, no. Now, municipal personals. So we have discussed type of municipalities, but who ensures that these municipalities function? Obviously, personal, people. So there are three categories. One is that you are having a dedicated personal staff, means specifically municipality, municipal corporation has hired them, right? Under the system, each local body appoints, administer and control own personnel. They are not transferable to other bodies. So this is separate personal system. Then you have unified personal system. It means transferable across local government bodies. Okay, the state government appoints them, administer, control municipal personnel, and they are transferable between the local bodies of the state. Okay, that is why it is called unified personal system for municipal. But then you have integrated. So how it is different? First of all, transfer can happen to various, you can say, departments as well. It's not mandatory that these people are going to be transferred only in local government. It's not like these people are not going to be transferred to any other local government. They are transferable not only between local bodies in the state, but others as well. Municipal personnel are the members of the state service. Okay. The various national level institutions. Now, this has been a favorite area of UPSC, that one question on institution, sometimes matching them with committee or location. Okay. So UPSC may say 3 institutions and location. Ask this question in 2014. This kind of question. Now, All India Institute of Local Self-Government, Mumbai, Center for Urban and Environmental Studies, New Delhi. So why we are discussing them? You know the importance of urban local government bodies, right? The basic amenities you want, you're living in cities, need to be delivered by these urban local bodies, right? So the people who are working there, the staff needs to be trained, sensitized, right? Upskilling need to be done. So that is why these institutions are there. They also conduct researches on best practices which are happening across the world, right? Recommendation of Nuruddin Ahmed Committee on Training and Municipal Employees. So on this recommendation, this institution was created. Regional Centers for Urban and Environmental Studies. And in what regions they are established? Kolkata, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Mumbai. National Institute of Urban Affairs, Human Settlement Management Institute, established in 1985. Now, how revenues are actually taken care of by these municipalities? I told you, right? Revenue through taxes, non-taxes, grants, loans. The revenues from local taxes, property tax, entertainment tax and taxes on advertisement, you can say the biggest chunk of tax revenue come from property tax. Okay. The municipal bodies impose various cesses also, library cess, education cess, beggary cess, means we are going to have this money from you if you are using some utility of urban local body, and this money is going to spend only on specific purpose, on this purpose. Octroi tax. It used to be recognized as chungi kar in Hindi, but in most of the states it has been removed, but in some state it is actually working. What does it mean? If you are having some truck, car, and you are actually mobilizing some goods into other area of this urban local body and for the purpose of say doing business, so some small tax can be collected from you. This is one example. For use and sale therein has been abolished, and property tax is the most important tax revenue. Source include rent or municipal properties, means we are talking about non-tax. Okay, rent from the properties of municipalities, fees, fines, royalty, profit, dividend, user charges, water charges, sanitation charges, sewerage charges. So these are the sources. These include various grants given by to municipal bodies by central as well as state government, already told to you. Devolution if state government on the recommendation of State Finance Commission devolve some of the power to collect taxes and appropriate taxes, tax revenue, then it can be also a source. Urban local bodies can raise loans from state government as well as other financial institutions. I told you that if urban local government body wants to take loan from say other say financial institution, then they need to take permission from state government first. Okay. This can be a question. In comment box, you should tell me what is municipal bond. So it pertains to actually GS paper 3 economy topic, but since it is considered as an important tool to enhance the financial capabilities as well as thereby developmental capabilities of municipalities, so we should know what are municipal bonds. Now, attempt this question. Consider the following functions. You need to identify which of the following functions are mentioned in 12th schedule. Urban planning including town planning, regulation of land use, planning for economic social development, roads, bridges. I just told you all 4, right? I showed you the details. Now, there is an announcement that's fundamental of geography. This is a new book which is released by StudyIQ. So, it is dedicated to state PCS as well as UPSC exam primarily. It includes physical geography, human geography, economic geography of the world. So you can actually check. It is having detailed maps and the content is really good. So you can check it out. So if you have any doubt, you can shoot me a message on shashank.powerbeing. This PDF is going to be available in Shashank Tyagi for you. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.